And I know what I know. And I told y'all, Meta did not buy this app. Okay. Meta did not buy this app. Meta cannot buy this app. When you listen to what that man said in that, when you listen to what y'all president says, because he's y'all president again, and y'all so happy and crying and got tears and all that. When you listen to what he said from that desk where he is so happy to be again, when you listen to what he says, let me find it. Let me get on my TikTok. Let me get to my page. Okay. I want you to listen to some of this interview. Okay. Oh, actually, let me see. Do I have sound of this interview? Okay, I do. Because I was live earlier and didn't have sound. Okay. So let's go back. I like that. They did some upgrades so you can see yourself live to be able to test yourself. Okay, so let's listen to what y'all president says.
And congratulations, TikTok is a good partner. And that would be worth, it could be $500 million or something. It's crazy. The numbers are
Okay, so we're going to pause. He said TikTok could be worth 500 billion. So that's $500 billion that he is estimating the valuation of TikTok to be. $500 billion. I told y'all that, that on paper it's worth $100 billion. $500 billion. I'm not saying Meta couldn't afford it, but I just want you to think about that number. And when you listen to the rest of this, he is positioning it as the only viable candidate to purchase TikTok is the United States government. Listen to what he says. I'm going to play the rest. It's about 3 minutes long. And so I don't get in trouble, I'm going to pause it every little bit. I'm going to play a little bit and then I'm going to pause it, okay? Why is it not playing? There it is.
But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign. The president does sign, it's worth.
Why is it not pausing? Okay, so he said if the president doesn't sign, it ain't worth nothing. It's worthless. If the president does sign, it is worth something. Are you tracking here? Are you tracking? Because I remember a distinct, oh my God, and fine TikToker told y'all who wanted TikTok, who wanted to make the money on TikTok. Did I not tell you? Okay. I told you. I told y'all this man wants TikTok. And I know I'm not the only creator out there who said such. But he is one thing about him, two things about him, one thing for certain, two things for sure. When it comes to DJT, he gonna tell you exactly what he is going to do, and he don't really hide his hand. He's pretty transparent. Okay, so let's hopefully this plays. Come on now, play.
So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas. So the question now, did he say these? Who? Well, I think it probably like it because he's got nothing.
So peep that. He hasn't really sat down and talked with the CEO of TikTok yet. But y'all speculating that y'all got a couple of different situations. One, you speculate that Meta has already purchased it, which has not happened. And I've broken that down to the very last compound why that is not viable, while that is just not even an option. Two, y'all speculating that Meta is plugged into the TikTok is plugged into the Meta servers. Also a falsehood. And so when y'all keep coming to me with that, my answer going forward is prove it. Show me the receipts. Don't come to me with emotions. Show me the receipts. Because baby, every time I come, I bring receipts. I broke down the process for how it would have to go if Meta had already bought TikTok. That it would be an at least 23, 24, more like 36, 48-month process for an acquisition that size with that kind of threat to antitrust. Okay. And brought receipts and showed you when Sprint and T-Mobile merged that it took exactly 23 months. Well, it actually probably took more like 26 months, or because we don't know how long they have been in negotiation. And and mergers that size, they actually could have been first put a bid on that years ago and kept going back and forth, and finally one day they got an offer that they couldn't refuse. So we're going to call it 23 months, but it's likely that it was longer than that, because that does not include the negotiation phase, which ChatGPT told us can be 1 to 3 months. Okay, so let's play some more.
Have nothing. Passed in Congress, it gives the president the right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision.
Okay, so two things here. 90 days. And as I just told you, if Meta were to buy TikTok, you're looking at an at least 2-year time span. Let's see. 90 days is about 270 days. That's 3 months, right? So 3 months. The alligator eats the bigger number, not the smaller number. So 24 months is the bigger number. So the alligator eats the 24 months at minimum compared to 3 months. So you see how that's just not possible, like I've been telling you? And he said 90 days. Also, Peep, he holds all the power right now. It all rests on him. Let him tell it. Now, there's more to it. There has to be proof of a sale for the president to actually give TikTok 90 more days. Y'all do know that, right? He's got his people working night and day. Maybe not night and day, but he's got his people working. What I'm hearing, what I'm assuming, he's got his people working to figure out a way around all of the corner that he painted himself in. Okay. And you're going to hear him talk about that there was a time he didn't like TikTok, but he's grown to like TikTok, and why. Okay. So roll the clip. I've always wanted to say that, by the way.
But I could see making a deal where the U.S. gets 50% of TikTok, polices it a little bit, or a lot. But remember, they make telephones in China. They make all sorts of things in China. Nobody ever complains.
Okay. So he's laying the groundwork for, is China really a threat? I mean, is China's ties to TikTok really a threat? We get phones made from China all the time. China. Right? He's beginning to minimize it. Right? I'm going to rewind just a little bit of that.
But remember, they make a little bit. U.S. gets 50% of TikTok.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. He wants the US government to get 50% of TikTok. I might be going out on a limb here, but I think he sees himself as the United States government. Because remember, he said he only needed y'all to vote for him one more time. So he wants it valued as high as $1 trillion, and the US government to basically get half the profits and have a 50% stake and be able to police, control the algorithm. It's in your face. It's been in your face the entire time. And I be knowing, like Amanda Seales says, I be knowing. And I've been telling you, okay? Roll the clip.
Is it a little bit or a lot? But remember, they make telephones in China. They make all sorts of things in China. Nobody ever complains about that. Here they complain. There's so many different products made in China. Nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally. When I went on TikTok, and I won young people up by 36%, Peter.
Okay, so that is very, very key. That is very, very key. Okay. He talks about nobody ever had any problem with these other products that come out of China. Now all of a sudden they have a problem. The only one they've ever had a problem with is TikTok. I didn't really like TikTok, but then I got on there, and that's where all the young people are. That's where all the young people are. That's where all the young people are. Are you picking up what I'm throwing down here? It's about the alpha generation. The oldest ones, will be able to vote in the next presidential election. So he not only wants the money, but he wants the voter base. And not only for the presidential election, but for the midterms. They want to be able to indoctrinate yo chillins. That's why they want TikTok now. Okay? That's why Rand Paul all of a sudden makes sense to people that typically can't stand him. Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? Okay? The man tells you everything. Y'all just don't be listening. Y'all just don't be listening. But I be knowing. Roll the clip.
Republicans typically don't do too well with young people, but it's a different Republican Party. US government you take 50% of TikTok for the approval, and TikTok can continue in business. And they'd have a great partner. The U.S. would be there. But the U.S. essentially would be paid for doing that half of the value of it. Could be a lot. Tell you what, every rich person has called me about it.
Every rich person has called me about TikTok. TikTok has not been sold. TikTok has not been hooked up to the Meta servers. Y'all wrong. You're just wrong. It's some sort of psychosis. It's some sort of cognitive dissonance at this point. I'm not mad at you. I still love you. But this man is telling you right here, right now. Okay? Do you need to hear more? Do you need me to keep rolling the clip?
Because I got to use it. And remember, TikTok is largely about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids, to be honest, I think we have bigger problems. But you know, when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China.
We even have military equipment made in China. So what's the problem with TikTok? TikTok is largely about the children. Largely about the children. Largely about the children. It's largely children. No, that's largely what he's focused on, what the Republican Party is focused on. The success they had with all that Red Pill podcast content. And now they want to roll it out to the children. They want to indoctrinate the children. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like anything else from a historical perspective? I just wondering. IJS. I'm just wondering.
TikTok,
Roll a clip.
TikTok is not their biggest problem. But there's big value in TikTok if it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, there's no value. So
There's big value. He says this numerous times. There's big value in TikTok if it gets approved. He has the power. There's no value if it doesn't get approved. He's basically trying to position this to them as either you live or you die by my hand. You either do what I want, you partner with me, or you're done in the United States. I wouldn't get too comfortable on TikTok right now if I were you. Roll the clip.
if we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half? Might never do news conferences.
And now he's worrying about Biden. Biden is out as of noon Eastern time today. It's all you, boo. Why do you care if Biden does press conferences like this? It's giving energy. I'm sorry.
How many news conferences, Peter, has he done like this? None. And it would be zero for the next infinity. For infinity, it would be zero.
I think has to rub it in
Do I have sound?
that he won. Okay. Okay. Okay, I still have sound. I was worried there for a second. And he's still worrying about Biden. Biden is out. You won. You didn't beat him, but you won. You won. So why even bring him up? He's the last person I would be talking about on my first day back in office. That's just me, though. So hopefully you see and you have heard the reality is Meta has not bought TikTok, and it's highly unlikely that Meta is going to buy TikTok. Now, the AI actuarially says it's much more likely that, not that likely, but the best bet to achieve a rushed sale would be a non-tech or non-social media tech company, something like Oracle or Wally World, Walmart, WMT. But Meta, I didn't watch. Did Biden shakes? I didn't watch either. I didn't watch either. What I am, I guess, reporting on is actually from a TikTok I saw, and I did a duet of it with the Daily Mail of an interview with him, but I didn't watch either. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and that's what we've done in my family since it became a holiday. Is worry about Martin Luther King Jr. and Martin Luther King Jr. Day and commemorate that. So yeah, no. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I don't know. I do know that he did not put his hands on the Bible this time. Melania or whatever her name is held it up, but he did not put his hands on it. That's kind of telling for me, for the people's God. That's pretty weird, for the Christians' God, for the far leaning right evangelicals, their God, their king, to not put his hands on the Bible. But that's just me. That's just me. So Tiki Talk is still on the clicky clock. I know he was doing some sort of executive order, but I learned something from Under the Desk News. Executive orders are actually more like wishes. You're welcome. They're more like wishes, and there have to be things in place. It's not just like something he can make happen. It's more like a wish. So there's also that. It's going to be an interesting 4 years. I'm actually in a really good spot with it all. And I want you to be in a really good spot with it too, right? When we look throughout history, and that he's not the first president to be against us, right? His cabinet picks, they're not the first ones to hate us, right? And we survived. Your bloodline somehow made it to this point, and it will make it through again. Now, I've told you, I got live earlier today and talked about it being spiritual warfare and a spiritual war, and I still stand by that. And I have prepared spiritually, and I continue to cleanse my spiritual house and keep my spiritual house in order. And that's lots of prayer, that's lots of meditation. You know what I mean? You picking up what I'm throwing down? Get your spiritual house in order. Get your emotional house in order. Get your mental health house in order, and get your financial house in order. It sounds like a big task. It sounds like a long to do list. But when you get your spiritual and your emotional house in order, the rest tends to fall in line. It tends to follow suit and also get in line. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. But just remember this. My mama always said the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I would say I ain't wishing ill on nobody, but let's be real, right? He's not even an American. And I saw something, I think, on X today about JD Vance's wife could actually be deported under all this stuff that they're doing because the birthright citizenship stuff. Thank you for the love that she's the daughter of immigrants, so she could be sent packing. Now I doubt that they would do that, but it just, a lot of this stuff that they want to do is not really thought out, which is both scary and dangerous, but it also means they're going to be tripping over their own feet somewhat. They're going to have a lot of challenges. There's going to be some challenges. It's going to be tough for all of us, unfortunately, but that's why you have to have your spiritual and emotional house in order. You do. You've got to have it in order and to be able to make it through this stuff, because it's going to be a wild and bumpy ride. And I still think there's going to be lots of opportunity out there. There's always opportunity, and it's always up to you to find the opportunity. 2008, 2009, I was working in financial services when the housing market crashed, when Lehman Brothers crashed, when Bear Stearns crashed. And I've seen and experienced a lot. And while I was still working in corporate, my income went up, it didn't go down. So it's a decision. It's up to you, right? Um, you know, Clinton was the first president that I voted for, and of course, things were great, financially in that when he was president. I survived the second Bush, and my income went up. Obama, it's really up to you. It's about the mental fortitude, the emotional, and the cognitive, and all of that just coming together, and literally you making a decision that your life, your destiny is in your hands, your own hands, and it is up to you to take the inspired action and do what you need to do, not play victim, not live in fear, not operate out of fear. Okay? We're not going to do that. Then they win, right? Then they win. And I'm also not saying we're going to sit back and wait for things to trickle down to us, because they typically don't trickle down to us. Thank you for the hearts. Things don't just typically. Read about Dr. MLK was celebrated. Yes. So, things don't typically just trickle down to us. We have to go out and we have to get it. We have to make it happen for ourselves. And we are up for the task. When you look at your ancestral line, when you look at historically, and the fact that, oops, you are still here representing your bloodline, that is a feat in and of itself, right? That your bloodline is still here after all of that. Like that is the strength that gets me out of bed in the morning. The fact that my bloodline, thank you so much for sharing, Estella, that my bloodline has made it through enslavement, through sharecropping, through the depression, through multiple world wars, through the civil rights movement, everything they've tried to do to destroy us. And not only am I still here, I have two beautiful children who are here and adults, and I have two beautiful grandchildren who are here. Okay? So there is strength. You are born from strength. It's not ideal. It doesn't mean we have to like it. It doesn't mean we have to celebrate it, but we will be okay, right? And I have friends across income brackets, across, all I have diversity in my friend groups, right? So I have members of the LGBTQIA community, people who are Caucasian, people who are less fortunate, and people who have some wealth, or so they think, right? And at the end of the day, you are here for a reason. You are still here. There is going to be plenty of opportunity, and it's up to you to find the opportunities, to call them into you, the ones that align, the ones that are for you, and take inspired action toward them. But you're going to be okay. But we have to stop with the delusion. And now some of y'all, I know y'all playing the game, y'all saying and doing whatever to get the views and the engagement, because I am loving the way we are coming back to this app. Like, nah, you ain't gonna get me a second time. We know that algorithm has been reset, and it's our opportunity to shine and show up and do what we wish we would have done 5-7 years ago or whatever. I love seeing that. And that is how I know we are resilient and we will excel. It's just in our DNA. It's who we are. We will excel, and the leopards will eat their faces. Okay? So that Daily Mail, I don't know if you call it an interview or what, but that Daily Mail press conference, recording of that press conference, I be knowing Meta did not buy TikTok, y'all. TikTok is not on the Meta servers. And I'm not a clickbaiter. I was raised differently on the internet. My digital marketing background is clickbait is bad. I don't do clickbait. I don't do clickbait. By the way, let me give it up for this microphone. I'm going to add this microphone, because this microphone is fantabulous. The only thing I wish it did was I wish it beeped or gave me some sound to know that the battery is dying, because it messed up my live earlier, me not knowing that the battery was dead. Okay. What else do I want to add? The Miracle Journal and the 369. Get low, get low, get low, get low. To the window, to the walls. So, yeah. And, hopefully some good will come out of all of this. But don't hate on nobody. Don't wait on nobody. I ain't waiting on nobody to make it happen for me. I'm going out and make it happen for myself. Right? And so I'm super excited to be coming live here for as long as we can. As long as they keep letting us have it, I'm going to keep showing up here and keep going live. But rest assured that TikTok has not been purchased by Meta. And I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm a little slow sometimes. I know some of y'all just saying that for the engagement and for the clickbait. I'm understanding now, because I'm a little slow in that area sometimes, because I can be very, serioso. Okay. The window to the wall. Y'all canceling Snoop, y'all canceling Nelly, Soldier Boy, and I think it was somebody else. Oh, that not Kelly Clarkson, that other girl, not Trisha Yearwood. I don't know, some other girl. So TikTok made a sale likelihood. We're back over in my Chat GPT, and let's see the last conversation I had with Chat GPT on this. I won't share that one. It's talking about little Marky Mark. Poor Marky Mark. He looks like his emotional system is just rot, like just taken to hell. Okay. So here are the steps that would be required for TikTok to be acquired by Meta. First would be negotiating terms. That would be 1 to 3 months. They would have to agree on price and structure. Structure is key because there are billions of outstanding shares of Meta stock. Okay. That is, y'all really think that TikTok has been sold like you buy a DVD player on Marketplace, and it does not work that way. TikTok, Meta has a market cap. That means a market value. If you take up all their outstanding shares times their current stock price, which is like $614, $617, it comes to 1.55 trillion. $1.6 trillion. Most of us can't even imagine $1.6 trillion. Yet we think that Meta went out with their 1.6 market valuation and bought TikTok, which is worth at least $100 billion. According to Trump, that's how my little cute grandbaby says it, Donald Trump. Y'all think he said 500 billion to $1 trillion is what TikTok is worth. So he's putting it right up there with Facebook. So let's just say, let's err on the side that he is right, and TikTok is worth $1 trillion. Facebook is worth $1.6 trillion. Y'all really think Mark just drove up to a random Target in the suburbs and met Shou Chow, and said, "Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and handle that for you. Just hand the codes over to the servers, and we'll get this done overnight. You tell everybody that you just going black, right? Plus, it'll make Biden look bad." Y'all really think Mark was behind that? Mark look like he's scared of his own shadow. Y'all don't see that about Mark? Mark is literally scared of his own shadow. Mark been able to just hide in the cut, make a little video every now and then. Mark is not about that life. Do y'all pay attention? Mark is not about that life at all. Okay? They making Mark do Joe Rogan and put on my fat gold chain and talk about masculinity when Mark's wife clearly running the show. Mark's wife run the house, okay? But she probably run Facebook too. From what I've heard, she does. And y'all think Mark making calls and like, okay, shoot y'all, meet me at Target. Go ahead and take that off your hands. No. The man behind everything then let y'all know. He know y'all on this app thinking that Mark running the show and Mark bought Meta. And he did a press conference at the end of which he said, did Biden do press conferences like this? He did that press conference to let y'all know, like I've been telling y'all looking in the wrong direction. He want all attention on him. That's why y'all ain't really heard or seen boo about JD Vance. He don't want nobody outshining the master. 48 laws of power. Rule number 2. Law number 2, never outshine the master. JD learned. Elania Musk is learning. Never outshine the master. There can only be one. There's only one king of America. And it's Donald Trump, as my 4-year-old granddaughter says. Okay? That press conference reeked of him letting y'all know, y'all can stop talking about Meta bought TikTok. Ain't nobody bought TikTok and ain't nobody buying TikTok till I say so. That's what he said in that video. TikTok is either worth nothing or it's worth half a trillion to $1 trillion. But it's worth nothing until I sign. He let y'all know. That was an eggplant move. He was letting y'all know who's living large and in charge. Who's calling the shots. DJT, baby, he let y'all know. And y'all running around talking about some Mark done bought TikTok. No, the hell he did not. Mark ain't bought nothing. Mark is waiting for all the spotlights and the pressure to get off of him so he can go back to doing whatever he do. He not interested in all of this. He did what he had to do so them people wouldn't be pressing him and stressing him. He trying to act like he more masculine than he is. And I'm not saying the man is completely not masculine at all, but he is not the type of guy that these people are. Mark is from a different cloth. Okay. Mark is probably more of a beta, right? If it wasn't for Priscilla, he'd probably be an incel. Just saying. This ain't Mark type of crowd. Mark doing what he got to do, so they leave him alone. They want him to get rid of the moderators and the fact checkers. Done. As long as they gonna leave him alone and cut him some deals and some contracts, he's good. Mark don't want to buy TikTok. Don wants to buy TikTok. That's what y'all missing. And he did that press conference to let y'all know to get off this app talking about Meta. Y'all supposed to be thanking him for saving TikTok. He's the man with the dead hand, as Darian says. He's the man holding the pen. It's worth nothing until he signs. Did y'all listen to the same thing I listened to? Did y'all read between them lines? Leer entre de las líneas. The man tell you everything. He says exactly what he is thinking and what he is going to do, and then he does it. Thank you for sharing. He tells you what he's going to do, and he does it. He's holding, from what it sounds like, there have been some mild discussions with Shou Chow. How do you say it? I know the first name is like Shou Chow, Shou Chu or Shou Chow, right? I know I've remembered Xiao Hong Shu. I got that one, and I know how to spell it too, right? So there have been some preliminary discussions, and the Chinese are not selling that stuff. I'm telling y'all that right now. They're not selling it. It is not for sale. Not to the US government and not to Marky Mark Zuckerberg. And so that was the other part of the reason for this press conference. To let notice he didn't get to sit with the rest of the tech giants. That means he's on ice. He's on punishment. He was still allowed to go because the man with the dead hand told y'all that he saved this app. So he had to have dude there. But he was on ice. He didn't get to sit with Tim Cook and Jeff Bezos and Alania and Zuckerberg and all of them. I don't know where he was sitting because I didn't see him. I had to dig a little bit to find out if he actually went. Because for a minute there, I was thinking the Chinese told him, you better not go to that. But he went and he was there. But he didn't sit with the rest of the tech bros and their wives. So there was an underline. True, you are exactly right. Thank you. So that's the other part for that press conference and what was said. Because he stressed that multiple times, like, listen here, show. Either you do what I want to do or you walk away with nothing. He said that multiple times. He might not have called the man by name. He just used the name of the company, of the social media app. But it was like, it's either worth nothing, or if I sign, it's worth $500 billion to $1 trillion. Maybe $1 trillion. Thank you for sharing, Anne. That's what he said. The Daily Mail. It's on you can click up here because you should be following me anyway. And it's my latest video. I did a duet of it. That's literally what the man said. So can y'all please stop living in Delulu land? The next 4 years, it is important for you to not be living in Delulu land. You cannot afford to be in Delulu land. You cannot afford to be detached, disassociated in the wrong way. You can't. You're going to put yourself in harm's way, right? You can still be informed, yet detached and resting and minding your black girl business. Ooh, you can't. You can do both. You can do both. I promise you, I didn't watch that inauguration. I saw some pictures and that, and the only stuff I saw was through scrolling my feed on TikTok and Instagram. There were a few things I saw on Instagram. And I did Google to find out if Shou Chu, did I say it right? Shou Chu went to the actual inauguration. I did check that. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Anne. Okay. Yes. I there are some changes. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to hesitate and be like, I'm not sure if there really changes. There are changes, right? Because what's ultimately happening is the Trumpism of the algorithm. But y'all want to blame TikTok for it. And the man letting y'all know that ain't TikTok, that's me. He wants the US government to have a 50% stake in this app and to control it, to police it, right? And I believe what TikTok has been doing is been self-policing, because that is a strategy in the United States. Ask me how I know. Because I was a former insurance agent along with a former financial sales representative. And so that's what industries like to do is they begin, and I also have been in network marketing, MLM, direct sales. Those industries like to regulate themselves first and govern themselves to keep the government out of their business. And so that's what TikTok is trying to do with its algorithm right now. They're trying to Trumpify their algorithm by suppressing certain content. And as I was saying earlier, the gold bar standard is not Meta. The gold bar standard is Elon Musk and what he did to Twitter and X. That is the gold bar standard, right? It's about the negative content. It's about spreading misinformation and propaganda and really dysregulating people's, what is it, parasympathetic nervous system, dysregulating their emotions and creating a lot of chaos and confusion so that you can't make, instinctive decisions, so that you don't know how to trust yourself or anything that you see or hear anymore. I'm going to give you an example. I saw one creator today talk about there were supposedly some attacks and racially motivated things happening on the Howard University campus because of the visitors in town this weekend, right? None of the mainstream media is talking about it. And I only saw one creator talking about it. If it's true, it's hard to prove that it is, because it could be that information is being suppressed and giving flags and stuff like that so that we don't find out about it. And that is done intentionally, y'all. That is the world we are living in for at least the next 4 years. At least the next 4 years. We don't know, we're not going to be able to trust the information that is put in front of us. The number of coaches and gurus, some of whom I have thought highly of and respected, that have played into this Meta buying TikTok lie for views and likes, is wild. And they're not just 8%ers. There were some 92%ers as well, because I cannot believe that those people don't know business, that they don't know the financial markets. I can't believe they wouldn't know, they don't know what I know, and why that would not be true, right? So that tells me they are either really dumb and they faking and taking y'all money, which wouldn't surprise me because people who make and have a lot of money tend to hire the right people. Or they're willing to say and do anything to make some change. And that should frighten you. Thank you for sharing. That should frighten you. They will sell you out, not even for $1, but for a quarter. Thank you for sharing. Is it Jeannie? Jeannie Moran, thank you. If y'all thought there was distrust before, distrust is, I mean, it's already at an all-time high. Baby, I'm building my bubble. I'm living in my bubble. Thank you. You're so sweet. And you got the number 2 gifter badge. Thank you so much. Right? But the truth is, we can't just live in a bubble, especially as introverted as I am for 4 years. It's just not going to happen. That's just not going to work. Right? So, again, you've got to build your spiritual house. You got to get your spiritual house in order. You've got to get your emotional house in order, right? Things I do, you're making more sense than a lot of people. Thank you so much. Things I do to regulate my nervous system: meditate. Meditate is listening to God. Prayer is talking to God. Okay. Meditate is a life saver for me. Okay. I also try to be physically active. I live on the second floor, so I try to go up and down those stairs. Thank you for the follow, a few times each day, right? Get the garbage, take the garbage out, get my food because it's delivered. These days, I haven't been cooking like I should. Do laundry up and down those stairs, moving for 10 minutes in my own apartment, things like that, right? Drinking lots of water and electrolytes, my nutrition, my smoothie, my juices, my supplements, right? What else do I do? When it's nice outside, going for a walk, getting time in the sun, grounding, right? The last minute of my shower, I turn it all the way to cold and let it hit me, either the chest and the face or the back of the neck. I also have ice packs because I will be 15 in a week or so. On the 28th, I will be 15. Now, I said I got grandkids, so you know to transpose those numbers, right? You see I'm getting a little sweaty, so you know what that means, right? You know the midlife fun space. Right? See, and it is happening because I forgot what I was talking about mid sentence. I can't even make this up. I can't even make it up. So, we're talking about what I do to ground myself. Oh, so I got the ice packs in the freezer. So I got the little ice packs in the freezer. Thank you so much. On my chest, and I don't just use them for the flashes. I use them to regulate my nervous system. On the chest or right here on the neck, right? If you can't do, I'm not doing cold plunging. It's going to be negative 32 degrees here tomorrow. And I didn't even pay attention until I got the weather alert. So it's like, I guess I'm going to be eating canned goods tomorrow. Because I don't even feel right asking somebody to Uber Eats or DoorDash me some food. And I have no problem doing it. I've done it before. Tip them $10 or $20 for my food because it's just me, so I don't keep a lot of food, but I always keep canned goods just for days like this. Just for days like this, right? So, you've got to regulate your nervous system. Journaling, 369 journal, the miracle journal, shadow work journal. This is another good one. I've taken so many of her courses. Amanda Francis, richest. She's got a journal, she's got a planner, she's got several. I've got the book, I've got the paperback, and um I've got the Audible version as well. Okay. So you've got to regulate your emotions, regulate your nervous system. You know what else I do? I take supplements that have ashwagandha and L-theanine in them. Right now, the gum in my mouth is that neuro gum with the L-theanine and the caffeine in there. It's really good. The flavor lasts a long time. They're also sending me some mints too. But none of this I find, because I also take the mushroom coffee from Rise, because that midlife like brain fog and that is serious business, and the energy drain. So these are things that I do to help regulate my nervous system. Okay, I had 3 funerals in the month of December. My cousin, who is was born just days after my brother. And she passed away suddenly. I think I might have just blocked the wrong person. Sorry, I didn't mean to block you. It was someone else. So yeah, she passed away suddenly, like on December 1st. Like a week and a day later, my cousin, who is my daughter's godmother, passed away. And then just days or a week later, my brother-in-law passed away after a 20-year battle with cancer. I don't tell you this to tell you all my business, first of all, or for sympathy. I tell you this because you have to know that everybody goes through grief differently. Everyone goes through grief differently, right? That is a high stress period. One death that's close to you on its own. When you have 3 together like that, that's a really stressful time. So I'm like, I need ashwagandha, I need L-theanine, and I need GABA just to deal with my family. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. So when somebody is snapping, I can respond, not react, and I can choose not to respond because I've got extra support from my nervous system, right? Because even my youngest daughter, who I'm very close with, and that's my baby, right? When she gets a little stressed, she gets a little snippy. And I have that extra support because you got to know sometimes when people take it here, you got to be able to bring it down. But if you meet them where they're at, that's sometimes when people get to throwing blows and stuff, right? So the L-theanine, the GABA, the ashwagandha, they help me stay balanced. So there was someone in the comments talking about don't buy my product. We're not talking about my own products. We're talking about products that were sent to me in the from the TikTok shop. So let me talk about this. Because one thing with TikTok being shut down, a lot of secret haters came out. And not toward me specifically, but a lot of haters came out towards creators, towards course creators, towards influencers. I mean, I always knew it existed because I've heard and seen it before, but y'all really showed up and showed out against and hating the fact that other people have the courage to get on here and go live, right? Y'all really are some haters. Yeah, that is another law of power from the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Hate, despise that which you cannot have. So when I hear that, I know automatically that that's what's going on. You despise it because you are a little scaredy chicky and you can't do it yourself. Because you only know how to go to work for someone and be told exactly what to do and when you can go on vacation and how much money you can make. How dare the next person be brave enough and courageous enough to go out and do it on their own? Y'all literally think when we come on here and share product with you that we're begging, but it's okay for McDonald's to show ads to you all day long, every day, for Burger King, for all the big companies. But when it's little old me or somebody else, it's a problema. ¿Y por qué eso? Why? Why is that? Exactly. Why is that? Explain. Hello. Explain it to me. Dígame. No me entiende. ¿Cuál es el problema? ¿Y por qué? ¿Y por qué no? Why not? It makes no sense. But see, through my healing journey, I know that I am not the problem. That hate is a projection of how you feel about yourself and your own insecurities. Yes, haters everywhere. Haters everywhere. Right? You really got to be at a high level of hate to come to my live and be a top gifter. Thank you. You got to have a whole level of hate to join my live and send me gifts and then tell people not to buy my product and it ain't my product in the first place. Because let me tell you, the dollar made from one of these ain't gonna make or break me. One monkey don't stop no show. I share this product because I believe in it. Because I know that somebody out there needs to go through the healing journey and work on their self concept because I once was that person. The $2 on this is not going to even buy me McDonald's, let alone pay to keep the lights on in here. Right? It's not even going to buy my wig shine spray. It won't even buy me a cheap concealer palette in 2025. I share it because I had to learn to embrace both sides of me. I had to learn to have radical self acceptance and love myself as I am and not feel like I had to bend and flex to impress other people, to fit into a corporate structure that was never designed for me to fit into it. I had to go through this journal to figure that out. And I am a person who has high self-esteem, high self-confidence, and I'm an achiever. But I'm the oldest daughter, the oldest grandchild, the oldest niece. And by the way, I turned 18 one Tuesday and had a baby the next. So I had to learn myself because my entire life has been about everyone else. And that made me a people pleaser. And I didn't even want to be. That's not my natural state. But because I've been taking care of everybody else my entire life, I had to learn to figure it out. If you buy the course, it will make you do a lot of work nonstop. I don't know what course. There you go. Y'all come here and give gifts and talk shit. But my block game is strong, baby. And I mute you. And I mute you. It's all good. We were literally just talking about you haters. Literally just talking about you. I literally just said $2 is not going to change anything in my life. That's not life changing money. Right? Now, the day that I go viral and we have 1,000 people in here, that might, buy a trip to Cancun or something. But it ain't like I ain't been there before. When you do the healing work, you don't have to show up on people's lives and hate. When you do the healing work, when you worry about yourself, sweetheart, then you don't have to hop on random people from the internet. You don't have to wake up every day and say, who can I troll? Who can I troll today? I'm going to go out here and I'm going to troll somebody today. That says a lot more about you than it does me. A lot more about you than it does me. You wrote a healing journal. Hurt people hurt people. And I know because there was a time when I hurt and I bled out on the people who didn't hurt me. And I'm woman enough to say that. I am woman enough to say that, right? We all have our journey. And I believe we go through it to help other people and teach other people. There are things that my own child has gone through. And I say, you know what? Now I see why God made me go through that so that I can help you get through it, so that I can coach and guide and love you through it. No one is perfect. No one lives a perfect life. Trauma is a part of life. The sooner we learn how to heal and deal with it, the better off we will be. But there's no escaping it. You can have Steve Jobs had all the money in the world, had access to the best doctors in the world, and still died from cancer. Sam Johnson, I live in Wisconsin, and there's a family of billionaires here. They own the company that makes Glade and Windex and all of Pledge, all these household names that you know and probably have in your home. I actually interned there in marketing. He died of cancer. Kobe, all the money in the world, and still he and his baby died in that helicopter crash. You think that's not traumatic for his wife and family? His daughter, especially the oldest, Natalia, the little one who was old enough to remember. The one little one, it was too little. She probably remembers very little, if anything. You think that wasn't traumatic for them? No one gets to leave this life without some sort of trauma. You can have the most perfect parents in the world, and if one of them suddenly dies, that can be a traumatic experience for you, especially depending on how they died. No one gets to escape this life without any sort of trauma. It's part of the human experience. It just is what it is. And if I can come on here and share my journey and the tools that have helped me, I'm going to. And I don't care who doesn't like it because they're afraid or scared or they don't think that other people should get paid for that. Grow up. Find something else to do. Find something that you love and enjoy. I'm grateful to be able to come on here and share. I'm grateful to have 8, 10 people on here watching and listening, some throwing up hearts, some throwing up roses. I'm grateful. So true. Good job, lady. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right? Maybe if you practiced a little bit more gratitude in your life, you wouldn't be so miserable and hopping on people's lives. Don't buy her product. I would never hop on someone's live and do that. And there are products I would never buy again, but I would not hop on a person. Now a corporate account, I ain't gonna lie, I troll them. But a regular everyday person, like, why do y'all feel like the only way for the regular everyday person to get on these apps and be deserving and worthy is to tell their sob story, to have to go through some sort of tragedy to be worthy and deserving? Why do y'all think being a creator and an influencer isn't hard work? You know it is. That's why you don't even try to do it. Some of y'all could never even think about editing a video, let alone getting in front of a light and talking. And I know for a fact because a lot of people want to start faceless accounts because they're deathly afraid of facing the camera. Public speaking is like one of the 2 top fears from what I understand. I could fact check it, but I ain't. It ain't that serious. It's one of my flaws. It's fact checking everything. So I'm trying to not do that all the time. Being a creator, an influencer is not easy. You grow in ways you would never imagine. Never imagine. right? Learning to build my first website, learning to set up sales funnels. I have cried setting up sales funnels, writing sales letters, writing website copy, writing blog posts. Some of y'all could never. You could never. Pitching brands, telling brands that pitch you, no, it's not a good fit. It is a personal growth journey like you would not believe. It takes an immense amount of personal development, which is why a lot of y'all never do it because you're miserable and you love being miserable. And I love that for you. I absolutely love that for you. Oh, you know, the other reason I'm sweating is I'm under 2 blankets right now because it's gotten really cold outside and the heat is blaring in here. But because it's so cold, you know, what's hot normally doesn't feel as hot. It's so cold, like this time of year when you get in your car and you have the heat on, sometimes you wonder if the heat is really on because it's that cold. So you got to turn on the seat warmers in that, right? Don't let people like that stop you from pursuing your dream of becoming a creator, influencer, course creator, digital marketer, or any of that if that's what you choose to do. You don't want to let them win. You don't want to be like them because they're pathetic and miserable to tell the truth. Tell the whole truth and nothing but. Ooh, it's getting close to my bedtime. So I think I'm going to go. But I had to come out here and share that interview with you. If you haven't yet, go over to my timeline, click up here, and make sure you follow me for more marketing, mindset, and monetization, and check out that duet. His homeboy told y'all, he told y'all everything. And I've been told y'all that Meta did not buy TikTok. And he made sure to let y'all know Meta did not buy TikTok. Stop talking that jazz. I'm the man with the pen, and it ain't worth nothing until I sign it. So why would Meta buy it if it's worth nothing? Like there's so many implications in, like I said, leer entre de las líneas, read between the lines. The man said it all. Thank you for the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He said it all. He always does. They tell you exactly what they're going to do and then they do it. And they did not let him sit with the other tech giants today. They didn't give him a lot of camera time. I mean, we know why, because Donnie is a narc, but and all attention has to be on him. This was his big day, like a bridezilla, right? But also, he was put on ice. He was put in timeout. I promise you, he was put on punishment. He had to show up because Donnie saved the TikTok, so he had to have him there. But Donnie is upset at him, probably about those notifications, you know, because some of those, the first round of notifications did not identify Donnie as the savior of TikTok, right? So TikTok is either worth nothing or worth $500 billion to $1 trillion, but only if Donnie signs, right? Yep, says homegrown feminist. You've got to take care of your regulating your emotions and your nervous system. A lot of this is being done intentionally to dysregulate you because you're easier to control, because you won't trust your instincts, you won't trust yourself when your emotions have been triggered and you've been in fight or flight for an excessive amount of time. That is not good for you. That is not healthy for you. You have to take care of you. You have to. Okay. But I appreciate you guys so much. This has been fun. I love going live at, later in the evening at night. It's always fun. It's always a blast. And now I got my better tripod, and I got the ring light, and I found my right position and everything. So we'll be doing this more. We'll be doing this more because y'all know when I get a little makeup on and I think I'm feeling cute, it'd be hard for me to get off the and wipe it off, right? Actually, I think somebody was trying to holler at me a little while ago. Where did he go? He said, I accidentally tuned into you and you are making me smile. I just wanted you to know. Let me look and see if this is a real person. No, this looked like a troll account. He got sunglasses on, so that's why I don't even get into all that. You look good. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But it is about this wig is giving me a headache right now because I got a big head. So I got to get this wig off. So that means the makeup is going to come off. But the glow, I'm telling you, those clean Nutra supplements, look at that glow. Look at that. Now there is a little filter on, but most of that's me. Most of that's me. Okay. So those clean nutraceuticals, the Shilajit, I take some of everything. That stuff is good. Taking those probiotics and omega-3s are so good for your skin. Y'all know I've sold hundreds of thousands of dollars in skincare and makeup in my career, right? Probably at least 500,000, right? So when I tell you that omega-3s and probiotics are good for your skin, I know y'all be like, she know everything. But I mean, I've got a 32 some year career, so I have worked in a wide variety of industries, including financial services. And that's how I knew that TikTok had not been bought by Meta, because I know how it works. You didn't take your vitamins today, you need to take those. Matter of fact, I started going through the 6 steps. So let me tell you the 6 steps. Steps to acquire TikTok by Meta. Number one would be negotiate terms. That would be 1 to 3 months. They need to agree on price and structure. 2 would be due diligence. Another 1 to 3 months. Review TikTok's financials and the risks. 3 would be regulatory approval, and this is where it's going to get stuck for the longest period of time, and that is 6 to 12 plus months, where the government reviews antitrust and security concerns, specifically the FTC, or is it FCC, and some international body, right? 4, it's not even until step 4 where a public announcement is made, but a public announcement has to be made because there are shareholders. You can't just be out here playing with these shareholders' money and their retirement and their savings and they not know about it. Yep. Tracking with you. Okay. So Meta informed shareholders via SEC filing. There are specific forms that have to be filed. And y'all think, I keep telling y'all, Marky Mark was not out there with his fat gold chain in a Walmart parking lot on the south side rolling up to Shu Chow to buy TikTok. It don't work that way. This is capitalism, baby. Okay. And 5 would be shareholder vote. It says if needed. And trust me, Donnie says $500 billion to $1 trillion. That's going to require a shareholder vote. It's probably never going to make it to that, though, because of antitrust. Antitrust is where it's going to get killed. I promise you. Even under Don's watch, that wouldn't be allowed. And he knows that. And that's why Mark ain't even a contender in his mind. The only logical contender is the US government, aka him, because the US government and him are one and the same in his mind. Are you still tracking? I appreciate the love too, by the way. Okay. And then that is an additional 5 shareholder vote, and that can take, they got to get that scheduled and all that. And closing 1 to 3 months. On average, you're looking at 23 to 24 months, and they got 90 days. Did you know you only have 30 minutes? They've got 90 days to do this if he signs for them to get an extension, because China is not about to play with these people. show chow, they are not going to be sitting here keeping this app up without something in writing because the fines are astronomical. And right now people still, we if you have the app, you still have access to it. However, those people who deleted the app, like I almost did, and was like, the girl, don't do that. Don't do it. Who's going to know? They'll never know. I wouldn't know because I wouldn't be able to get back into it. My cousin in Atlanta can't get the app back. The people who deleted it, that's why you don't make decisions out of in anger. They can't download it again. They can't get back in the app. So I promise you, if that paper don't get signed soon, and I think supposedly he did sign it today, but again, I don't know how because there needs to be proof of a sale. Donnie is trying to shake them down. I hope you've gathered that from this live. He's trying to shake them down. Why do you think he keeps saying? He said at least 6 times in that video that I counted. It's worth nothing if I don't sign. If I sign, it's worth half a trillion to a trillion. He said half a trillion more or 500 billion, and he said a trillion more. Now everybody else been saying TikTok valuation is 100 billion. But here's the thing that I know and I thought about, that they usually get more than what the company is valued for because of the future value of money and the future cash flow and income streams. So he's right. That part, I trust him on that. It's worth half a trillion to $1 trillion. I wholeheartedly believe that. Facebook is overvalued. I knew 100 billion was undervaluing TikTok. That I did know. My financial expertise told me that. And since I'm dropping the mic, I probably should get going soon. Okay, so all in all, on average, you're looking at 23, 24 months for an acquisition like that to happen. When Sprint and T-Mobile merged, it took exactly 23 months. Because I be knowing, like Amanda Seal says, I be knowing. I'm coming with receipts. And from now on, every time y'all try to tell me like this whole child support thing is propaganda, it's nowhere in Project 2025. It's nowhere anywhere else. And if you actually know how child support and family law and all that works, and even tax code and all of that, that is not what was that is not what was proposed in Project 2025. They have other plans for y'all. No, they're not getting rid of child support. There's this thing going around on the internet where supposedly Donnie tweeted or posted on the Truth Social, but there's always, in any other case, there are screenshots, and there's not one single screenshot showing where he said that single mothers who put the baby father on child support will not be able to claim their child for taxes at all, is what some are saying. Others are saying they will not get the earned income tax credit. And that's not, that I just can't find it anywhere. Can't find it anywhere. Not Project 2025, not America First, not anywhere. It's propaganda. It's red pill propaganda, because there is a war on women, first of all, and also a war on single mothers. Now, they have other things in mind for single mothers. They have other means of torture and pain for single mothers. I mean, because when you think about the pro-life people not wanting the credit and the money to go into the household where the child actually is, but to the dad for paying $17 a week in child support, that's wild. That is absolutely wild. And the pick-me's are all over it. The pick-meshas are like, oh, I agree with that. I think that's right. Again, they're projecting their own insecurities. They're fawning, because that's what a pick-me is. A pick-me is a fawn, a people pleaser. Mm-hmm. Sure enough is. So, give me. So, all right. Yes. All right. I'm really enjoying y'all. I would love to stay, but I need to hydrate. And I really do want to take this wig off and go to sleep. So it's been fun. I'm sure I'll be back tomorrow night and I'll be back tomorrow during the day again. So if you are not following me, make sure you click up here and you follow and hit that bell so you get notifications when I go live. I typically go live in the middle of the day ish, usually between 11 and 1, sometime in there. Um, and that usually at least at one time a day. And then there are days when I get, I got my NeuroGum and, I've got caffeinated. And so I might have it in me to go live a few more times. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see y'all on the flip side. And just remember, I be knowing. Bye. Have a good night.